Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how we doing out there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what time it is. Hold on, what time is it? This thing's not working. It's Operation Status Quo time. That's right. It's such a pleasure to be back. Hold on, let me lower this music down out of the way here so it's not intrusive, as if my voice is not intrusive enough. We don't need extra sounds. What am I talking about? I use all my crazy sound effects and everything all the time. Hold on. Oh, whoa, what's the wrong button there? I forgot I added a new page to my buttons. What do we got here? Hey, we got some Indians. We got some dogs barking. We got somebody laughing just for the hell of it. Okay, all right. All right, get out of here. I was worried about lowering the music so it wouldn't be intrusive, and then I went ahead and did all that. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I, of course, am Pete Palma, your user-friendly host, broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home. It is beautiful here in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, I hope it is beautiful wherever you may be in this beautiful world, all right? So this is the place where we observe the status quo of life, we learn to flow with the status quo of life, and most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, yo, because that's the only way to go. So what you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo? You know the deal. Let me know in the comments below. And if you're not living your flow of quo, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say it simply. You are living someone else's flow. And that is a no-no on Operation Status Quo. We do not do that. And we drive you crazy, right? Okay. All right. So today is the, first of all, let me tell you before we get into everything, we have another special guest joining us this week, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sigmund Freud from the Dr. Sigmund Freud Psychology Session. Yeah, you may have heard of him. I don't know. But he's a friend of Operation Status Quo and will be on the program with us a little later today, which is a good thing because of the topic I'll be discussing. Hopefully, he can add some insights onto that. I also have some other information to provide to you towards the end of the program as well. So stay with me through the whole thing because it's chock full of fun and good times. That's what we do here on Operation Status Quo. It's all about fun and good times. I'm just a man of the people out here for you, the beautiful people of the world. I want to put a smile on your face or at least make you look at me and say, my God, this person is so crazy and annoying that I can't complain about my life because what the hell is he going through? The trauma he must be suffering, you know? It was so bad. It was always so bad that nobody would help me. So today's program is speaking of trauma, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 28th of May in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled Traumatized and Energized. Yes, Traumatized and Energized. Because, again, I'll take this back as I always do. I really look at the true liberation day of humanity is when COVID started, whatever day that was. What was the actual day they say? I guess when everything went into the lockdowns around March. Well, for me, it was around March 16th. I don't know if that was of 2020. I don't know if that was the exact day that it became, all that or not. But so that was Liberation Day to me, ladies and gentlemen, because prior to that, right, we had been living in this matrix, this mainstream world of just nonsense that's really kept us from our true spiritual selves for generations. So, Liberation Day came during COVID, but of course, the trials and tribulations that we have gone through since that time have been, it's a lot of upheaval in the world, right? And people are, for a lack of better terms, traumatized over things that have happened and trying to find their way back to whatever they felt was a space of normalcy and acceptance of a day-to-day life. But we're not going back to that. So we have to take the trauma. That's why it's called Traumatized and Energized today, because you have to take the trauma and then take the drama of the trauma and turn it into energy, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And you put it out there. Hold on. I know I got where's my damn electric? Here we go. Yeah. You feel it coming out of my fingers? So, hey-o. Yeah. So anyway, that's basically it's an interesting concept because first of all, we've all been traumatized prior, right? Our entire upbringing and societal structure is trauma of itself, right? That we were engulfed in. And now this new level of trauma is the awakening from the trauma. It's like it's new trauma to wake from the trauma that we've been going through for, this multitude of generations and how humanity has operated up to this point. And I find it very interesting because it's like right now is like this whole confluence of time, space, and energy, right? Where we're not in the dark anymore about how things were. The technology has come to such a point where information is shared in such a vast way in comparison to how it was prior to social media, prior to the internet, right? So, and now all these energies converging in one space of what's coming. People can't hold on to what was, right? And it's all this, kind of back and forth and putting people in a lot of trauma in a sense. And I don't know, I just was thinking about it a lot because I think of my life, I see, and I watch the world around me, obviously. We're all different. We're all our own soul on our own mission here in this world. Whatever we chose to learn, whatever our path may be, it's all good. There's no judgment there is no right or wrong, good or bad, right? But, to experience what's going on in the world today and for myself to have the perspective of being able to see it outside of it. I don't feel meshed in with mainstream society and what goes on in the world. I mean, I'm an existing human being. Unfortunately, I have to, work with people. I got to eat. It's like it's a lot of work. But I feel blessed because what has gone on again since COVID has really been pulling the curtain back and able to see everything that's just like in the Wizard of Oz, right? When Dorothy pulled the curtain back, or was it Toto who pulled the curtain back? Either way, the curtain got pulled back and you realize that great scary Oz was just a guy, blowing into a bunch of horns and pushing a bunch of buttons, which is exactly what's going on in our mainstream world today. We're distracted by everything that happens. But let me kind of circle back because I want to make it clear in a sense too for us to realize as whatever, if people feel it's trauma or experience trauma in some type of regard based on some of the changes that we're seeing, but how much power you have to not dwell and fall victim, quote unquote, because you know how I feel about victims. There are no victims, right? You have a choice to do whatever you want to do, so don't be a crybaby out there. So instead of being victimized in the world and all these scary things are happening, you take that those feelings, those emotions, and what's going on in the world, and you use that to energize. So you energize. You become that little bunny. Oh, I got the drum too. I could be the bunny. Be like the little Energizer bunny. Was it really worth picking up the drum to do that and annoy you poor people like that? But you become the Energizer bunny, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, and you take the trauma and turn it into your power, right? Because it's giving you the space to reflect and see, like, my gosh, if I feel all this weight of what's happening in the world, it's actually giving you space to say, what is that reflecting back to me that I can work with to become stronger, to not feel in a place of, for lack of better terms, weakness and such, because we all have the power to choose whatever it is we want to choose. It's just up to us to choose. It's up to us to take the space to see, and really up to us to have the space to believe. And again, going back to the powers that be that have kept us suppressed for all this time and how we're in this time period now of growth and expansion, basically the system itself is alive. I talk about all the time not to look at surface level things. Like don't pay attention to what they're telling you on the news and the one level of a story of politics or anything, right? Like this whole surface level way of life, like what the celebrities are doing, what the sports scores are. I'm not saying don't enjoy certain things, but these things are used to keep people in a limited space. It is the system itself. This is like my main point about it, and where the trauma really comes from anyway, is that the system itself is alive, right? The system itself is alive. It's like a consciousness unto itself, an entity unto itself that feeds off of the energy of humanity in a way. It's created purposely to operate in the way it does, to create obfuscation, to create confusion, to create distress, to create all these aspects of you're looking in a million different directions instead of with your breath center in your soul, right? So, if we realize that it's alive, and then it takes the pressure of of blaming situations and blaming people, right? We all grow up with families. We all have dysfunction. It's like, look at me. Imagine what my family thinks of me as far as this. I mean, like, they're probably like, this is the most dysfunctional guy I've ever seen in my life. But the truth is, I'm actually highly functional because I don't participate in the mainstream world. I'm so functional that people think I'm dysfunctional. That's how crazy it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's crazy. I know. Oh, hold on. They're sending the white coats again. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm fine. You leave me alone and you get out of here. But yeah, and the system itself is designed to do that, to keep people in a space. So let's just say, I don't know, I know it's a kind of a vast topic in a way. It could be a multitude of examples to give, but whether it be a friend or a family member, or I don't even a career choice that you were forced into based on family lineage and stuff, whatever the thing is, I'm saying let's not blame those outside, what we see as outside sources playing on us or preying on us or forcing us to not be ourselves, because it just, to me, the people that are unable to support you in whatever it is that you want to do, or those who are unable to understand your perspective, or at least give you space to be what that is, if they're going to say you're not accepted because you're not following these guidelines, instead of putting the blame on them and being angry with them, whatever the situation, whether it's a job or a person or I don't know, whatever, right? Instead of putting it on them, you realize that it's the system, and the system is like a parasite. It's feeding on these people emotionally, psychologically, and it doesn't like give them like free reign to mean like be a jerk and be, turmoil in your life, right? You have the choice to make the decision of the boundaries you set and who you let in your life and in what capacities. For me personally, I'm pretty good at understanding. I can feel people in a way, excuse me, I can feel people in a way, their energy and vibe, as soon as they walk in the door or something, I just kind of feel. And I talk to somebody a little bit, and I always know where to meet people, how to meet people, what level. Doesn't mean I want to spend all day with them, but I know how far I can take a topic, or what if I can say something this way, or if I can say something that way. I don't know. I'm just saying for myself, and that's what we all could do. We all could take that space. It's all about taking the space, and separating you from you, and realizing what's going on out there, so you can, in fact, not allow these outside, quote unquote, outside influences to really make up what your day-to-day life becomes. You make up what your day-to-day life becomes. We don't have to place blame. We just see it as a level of consciousness. And this is where other people are. And again, it's not wrong, right? Because in the grand totality of oneness, like I talk about all the time, all facets are needed, and every soul is making a choice of what part they're playing in that totality. So there is nothing to blame. Everything is merely reflections. If you came here as a soul to learn a certain set of lessons, right? So you're here to learn lessons. So you're going to need classes and experiences, right? So if you go to school, if you go to college, and you're going to learn, I was going to say a doctor, but we talked about doctors last week. Don't go to school to be a doctor. You're wasting your time. But if you're going to go to school to learn anything, right, you're going to have to take, classes. You're going to have to go through whatever to learn those lessons to meet that goal. So it's the same thing with your soul in this life. The pieces that are around us are merely the reflections and the lessons and the classes that we signed up for before we came here. So it's important not to place outside blame. And again, I'm trying to wrap it back in to being traumatized and all that. It's just an amazing. I'm just trying to put it into words because I'm thinking about it as I'm saying it, and it's hard sometimes because it's so. I see it in such this I don't even know how to. I can't even use word. I see it in this energetic way as opposed to a physical linear way, and humanity's conscious grown to this point. Now the traumas are being exposed, and it's up to us to heal. This is our chance to heal all the traumas of multitudes of generations, as opposed to feeling like we're losing something because quote unquote everything is crumbling, and we're looking to world leaders and all these kinds of people to fix everything. We fix it within here, and then the world out there reflects back what we're trying to create. So that's the basic of what I wanted to say in that regard today. And I also wanted to mention in this, I did make myself a couple notes because I knew I would forget a couple things I wanted to say in regard to all this. And as I'm saying, like, I think this is the voice within all of us. I find sometimes when I speak this way and say these things, I don't know if some people don't take it well or not. I mean, I don't know. I'm an honest person just trying to express a message. I feel don't be mad at me for saying what you kind of know and feel, but, you don't want to do it. Like, I don't care. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I'm just here to encourage people to see who they are, what they can do, and then it's up to each individual to make that decision. I come on and do this, my purpose, my work, all this stuff between the music and the show and the do-ba-da-da and the pete.palma.com. If you've been to pete.palma.com, pete.palma.com. So, my whole purpose is not about, I can give two craps in a way. I just feel so passionate about all of us connecting, and there's so much to learn from one another. And I look forward to all the changes that are taking place. Is the world in turmoil in a certain regard? Yeah, but it's a beautiful turmoil because we are healing the trauma. So let's take that trauma, take the drama of the trauma and turn it into energy. So traumatized and energized, because take your trauma and turn it into the energy that drives you forward in your day-to-day life and create the life that you want to create. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was great. Let me give a little round of applause for that. Now we're going to go on to the next bit. Actually, I'm really, I got to say, I've been working on this on the side. Hold on, we'll get my applause out of here. I switched screens, so now I got to wait for it to run out. Let's give a little AO, huh?
Heyo.
Thank you. So I've been working on it. People are getting such amazing feedback from everything I've been doing, and I'm starting to get some sponsors reaching out to me, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to step aside for a second. We have our first sponsor. This company is called Dunder Pate Incorporated. They have a multitude of products. They just love what I'm doing, and they want to share with people. And this product here is called Wonder Block. It's a beautiful product. It's fun for the whole family. So we're just going to step aside with this word from our sponsor today, Dunder Pate Incorporated, and their Wonder Block. I have a Wonder Block. I don't have it here. I mean, it's really amazing. Wait till you hear all the things that it can do. And we're coming back with Dr. Sigmund Freud right after this.
Hey out there, Dunder Pate Incorporated is here again with another product guaranteed to put the fun back in family. How many times have you looked through your belongings only to discover that each item was only specialized for a particular use? For example, you could hardly use your telephone as a can opener or your television as an air conditioner. That would be silly. Dunder Pate Incorporated has broken the boundaries of logic as we proudly present the Wonder Block. The Wonder Block may look like an ordinary cube, but its list of activities is endless. Take it with you for that long car ride. Play Count the Sides over and over again.
5. There's 5 sides.
Nope, you're wrong again.
Oh man, I can't believe I lose every time.
How about a friendly game of catch?
Over here, I got it. Oh my God, my eye!
This ingenious object can even be used as a paperweight. Paperweight.
Honey, check it out. The papers don't move. This is one Wonder Block.
Prop open your window, have a doorstop, even turn it into a die. The Wonder list goes on and on. Act now for your 30-day at-home trial period. This product is 100% non-refundable. Call now 1-800-I-WONDER. You'll wonder how you've ever lived without the Wonder Block. That number once again, 1-800-I-WONDER. This message brought to you by Dunder Pate Incorporated, fulfilling the needs of a needless society.
All right, Wonder Block. You'll wonder how you ever lived without the Wonder Block.
Heyo.
Oh, man, it's so much fun. It's too much fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on here on Operation Status Quo. I'm very proud today to have a special guest here with us. It is our good friend, Dr. Sigmund Freud, coming in live on the satellite today. Dr. Sigmund Freud, are you there? Can you hear me? This is the Dr. Sigmund Freud of the Dr. Sigmund Freud Psychology session. I am here today to talk to you, Peter. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Ah, well, that's no problem, Doc. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's been a long time since we've spoken. And, it's great to have you here today. I want to get right to it. I was talking earlier about trauma in the world today and people suffering a lot of, mental illness and such based on a lot of things that are happening in the world. You as a psychologist, what would you have to say about what's going on in the world today and how maybe people can calm their mind or, put their mind at ease? What do you feel about that? I will say this. First of all, I am the expert psychologist. I have the mind. My mind is a mind. You will not find the mind like my mind. People come from all over the world just to be around my mind. So when I get with the people, I see how their mind is, and their mind is nowhere near the mind of my mind. So they come to me, and then I have to make their mind in the space of where my mind is. But this, of course, is impossible because my mind is so much more advanced than the mind of the others. So they come to me, and then I try to work with them to see if we can put something in their mind so that I won't mind to see their mind. Oh, well, doctor, so anyway, it just sounds you really appreciate the work you do. You sound very confident in yourself, which, of course, is great. But so when people will come to you, then I guess they'll sit and they'll discuss what they're feeling. Obviously, it's what you do with a psychologist, and I'm just curious how you go about, especially in today's times, to help them find some peace and solace in their life, during these tumultuous times as they're speaking to you and sharing with you what they think and feel. Let's take this second here. First of all, I do not allow for the people to tell me what is on their mind, because I am already the great mind. So my mind already has everything that their mind could possibly have and the more. So I just look at them and so I tell them what is in my mind. And then they listen to what is in my mind, and this is what cures their mind. Yeah, but don't you think you have to listen to their problems and hear what they have to say so that you understand how you can properly guide them? This is the old way of psychology. This is the way is sit there, I half falls asleep, listen to someone talk about they do not like themselves, or the mother beat them with the belt, or the problem with the boss, it's a job. All I know, the doctor, is that if someone was able to use their own mind, if they had the mind to use their own mind, they wouldn't be coming to me to see what my mind has to say. So this is how I do it. I do not want to hear what they have to say. I do not need to hear what they have to say. All I know is that their mind is not capable of doing what their mind wants them to do, and that is why they are with me, and that is why my mind is the mind that makes the decisions for their mind. All right, Doc. Well, everybody has their way in their practice, so we're sharing. This is what we do on Operation Status Quo. We're just sharing different pieces of information and perspectives with the world. So please feel free to contact me here on Operation Status Quo and get in touch with Dr. Sigmund Freud anytime if you're interested in one of his psychology sessions. Before I let you go, Doc, anything else you want to say, do, give, add, provide, insert for the wonderful people of the world today, Dr. Sigmund Freud? I just want to say to remember that my mind is a superior mind. And if you're going to come to see me and be with my mind, you have to be prepared to take on what the superior mind can do. Do not come, they waste my time to sit there, and then you start to cry, or you run out the room, or you have the problem. I have the level of the compassion I have goes without saying, but we can never, ever overrule the mind, and my mind is the mind, if you don't mind. So that is what I have today. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here with you, and I will be checking up with you again soon, hopefully very soon, Peter. All right, there he goes. Dr. Sigmund Freud on the satellite, live on OSQ. Thanks for being here. Well, the doctor certainly has.
Heyo.
The doctor certainly has a perspective there. So whatever works for people. If that's one way to meet your problems, then that would be great. All right. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for Dr. Sigmund Freud being here. We're going to continue on now. I have one last segment for us. Again, since we're speaking about trauma today, I did find some information on how to, of course, because these darn websites and their pop-ups. But anyway, I did find some information on some tips, if you would, on how to heal from trauma. So we're all suffering from trauma. So let's see if we together can find a way to heal from the trauma. The first thing here on the list, ladies and gentlemen, is to find a safe place to process your feelings. So, if you're really traumatized, you need to process, you need to find a quiet, safe place. Like, for example, probably being like, in Ukraine or the Gaza Strip. That's probably not a good place to be right now to find a quiet, safe place to process your feelings. So possibly the basement. Maybe you can go into the basement of your home, maybe up in the attic. I don't know, maybe or anywhere where you can get away from people. A public park could be nice, I guess, but people are there. But find a safe place to process your feelings. Then you want to lean into the discomfort, because it's not bad enough that you're overly traumatized and suffering already. Now you should lead into the discomfort so you can really get a handle on it and really feel it, which is true. You have to really feel the pain to get through the pain. If you don't feel the pain, you're not going to make it through the pain. I made it through the pain. So that's what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. You want to exercise and move your body. I mean, that goes without saying. Do you really need to be traumatized to do that? It's like, why do you got to be traumatized to exercise and move your body? That's a good thing we should all do anyway. Don't let me traumatize you by saying that, in case you're someone who doesn't do it. Finding a creative outlet is also a wonderful technique, which you see, this is what I do. I'm so traumatized, ladies and gentlemen, that this is what where's my damn applause? This is what you get from me. Why am I sweating? I'm traumatized. Traumatized and energized. Heyo. Yeah, so find a creative outlet. I'm working on it. How's this working? Is it helping? Is it helping me? Is it helping you? You want to prioritize self-care. Now, this I will take seriously. You have to take care of you. You are number one, and you can't trust the doctors and the system, right? I said the system is alive and it's feeding on you. So you have to prioritize your own self-care, whatever that means for you. How you eat, how you sleep, doing some exercise, like we just said, but prioritize it. Don't make it a secondary thing. Oh, I wanted to exercise today. It would have been nice to eat a vegetable today, but I was too busy. So, you take yourself first, and everything else, becomes secondary. It's the way you got to do it. Otherwise, you're giving your life away. I'm just being serious there. I'm not making jokes. If you don't prioritize your self-care and do what's right for yourself first, you're just giving your life away, and it's as simple as that. All right, you want to adopt healthy coping mechanisms, right? So, when things happen, you want to have outlets and such to take care of things. You don't want to all of a sudden, run to the liquor cabinet and then to the gun cabinet. You know what I'm saying? These type of things could cause problems. You don't want to, inflict self-harm, like burn yourself with cigarettes and stuff, right? I mean, these are not healthy coping mechanisms. Maybe take up juggling. I spoke about knitting in a show previously. Maybe you take up knitting, something to ease your emotional pain. All right, we got just a few more. You can reach out for support. It says reach out for support, but a lot of people don't even understand you anyway and are dealing with their own trauma. So, I mean, quite honestly, just suck it up and deal with it yourself, okay? Stop crying to everybody. No, seriously, it's nice to have support. A support system is great, but it doesn't. You don't want to let that become a space of where you're just dumping all your feelings all the time, right? And just emptying out on someone else and sucking up their energy. It's okay to have support, but as you're working and building and growing and creating a better you, it's nice to have a strong support system. But ultimately, you got to do it yourself. It's up to you to be you. Be you. You gotta be you. All right. Let's see. Take the time to acknowledge your progress. Let me see how I'm doing. I'm going to take the time right now to acknowledge my progress, ladies and gentlemen. No, I don't wanna. Why is it gotta be like that? I don't understand. No more, sweet Lord. All right, so take the time to acknowledge your progress and say, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm making a lot of progress. And we also got avoid self-blame, ladies and gentlemen, which, I mean, I don't know what that kind of saying, because I just talked about don't blame others. you know. And I would say you don't blame yourself. There's no one to blame, you know. You don't have to blame anything. All you have to do is like acknowledge what you don't like and make changes and work in a different direction. There's nothing to blame. There's nothing to judge. There's nothing to be angry about, right? You just see what the current behaviors are and where they're getting you, and you make adjustments, right? So we don't blame others. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame anybody. I don't know. Blame God. That's what everybody does. Why'd you do this to me? I don't want to say that because otherwise like the whole computer might shut down. I would never chastise the dear Lord Almighty up in heaven. God bless you. God bless you, God. I hope God is looking after you, God. And the last one here, ladies and gentlemen, is to find meaning in your experience, which wouldn't that feel nice? You know, I do everything I do every day, trying to build my platform and share everything with people. And no one gives a damn. And wouldn't it just be nice for a few minutes if I could find meaning in my experience? Why am I crying again? Why? All right, so anyway, I'm working on it. Hopefully you find some meaning in your experience out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments below if you do. That would be great. I really wanted to keep this to about 25 minutes today, but unfortunately, I just can't stop talking. But I am going to stop talking right now. That's what I have for you today here on Operation Status Quo. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me here today, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family. I'm getting, hold on, before I do my big sign off. RC3 is in the house. RC3 is with us today. He got here a little bit, I know, a little bit late, but that's okay because he always checks in. He wants to know, he's asking a question here, was Paco apprehended or is he still on the run? He's not sure if I can comment based on incriminating myself with a known fugitive. For those of you that may have missed the program a few weeks ago, we had Paco on. He was a little bit in trouble trying to make his way to and fro the border. Last I heard, there were helicopters hovering over him. So RC3, I will give you the update that I have not heard anything from Paco. I did try to reach out to him a couple times, but to no avail. So we will keep our eye on this developing situation and see how it plays out. Thank you so much for asking. Right, so I know I kind of said it, but let me say it one more time. Like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. Please check out pete.palma.com. Don't forget to check out the album Happy Day, streaming on all your music platforms. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I got to go to my space for my proper ending. All right. Yeah. Until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengage.
Is a boulevard of 10 short blocks.